It's Reegan. And Pete, and also special guest Donna.
Woohoo!
And we'll be joining you for a little bit of a Christmas special. So, in 5 consecutive days, we will be going through the happiest of the Torchwood series. Yes, we will be going through Children of Earth, and we'll be releasing those in a 5-day staggered release from the 21st of December all the way up till Christmas Day.
So we love you that much.
We do. So, yeah, look out for that. And until the next time, we are heading into time and space.
So shut up, stop talking, cease and desist, there's a good girl. Go, 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 go.
Moisturize me, moisturize me.
It's Reegan.
Yeah, it is.
It's your boy. You may hate him later.
Oh.
And my wonderful co-host, Pete.
What's up?
And we are tackling part 2 of this first 2-parter. This one being The Witch is Familiar.
Yeah.
And man, is this intro Sherlocky.
It's very Sherlocky.
It's very Sherlocky. I don't think we've seen something so egregiously Sherlock since the bank heist episode.
Yeah,
this is far worse in terms of its egregious Sherlock.
Yes. It's full on just Sherlock, isn't it?
Doesn't it open with like an upside down view of the Skaro landscape, and we realise this is the perspective of Clara, and she's been hung upside down, and we've got Missy standing there sharpening her wee stick.
Neither of them are dead.
No.
As we thought they were going to be.
How is this possible?
Neither
We're
of them
going to
are
get
dead.
some clarity on this.
Yeah, she's just sharpening a little stick.
Yes, now that stick is gonna
That's a good stick.
that's a good stick. So Clara, I think, initially asks why I'm tied up, and she says like, we may need to hunt and you're the prey.
Yeah.
And then she's asking why she's sharpening this stick, and she's like, well, maybe if there's nothing
left to hunt.
And then she
I've
gives
got
Clara
you.
Now it's not cannibalism, is it? Because Time
'cause
Lord
they're
and
different.
human, different species.
Yeah.
Still not great.
Still not ideal.
I don't think we've ever had a master incarnation that's talked about. Oh no, I suppose we have had one that full on devoured people.
Oh God.
Skeletor Master.
Skeletor Master.
Yeah, he full on very comedically ate the
Ate
burger lady.
the burger, yeah,
and
yeah.
presumably are I don't remember the name of now this is a bit of Doctor a bit of Doctor Who sizzle that is fucking amazing and so weird. Now, I don't know the name of the 2 homeless folks. I know the name of one of them being Ginger, the one who's a bit muted until the master sails in.
Yeah.
I only know that because my foldaway bike is named after him.
Brilliant.
For no other reason other than I thought, he was done a bit dirty.
He was a little bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a bit rough. And I'll give this character a new lease of life in the form of my foldaway bike. I should say there is an additional attachment that a lot of folks who are gingers sometimes are referred to as redheads, and my bike is red, so that's the
There we go.
very loose tie-in.
Loose tie-in, but it's there. It's a tie-in.
It's nice that my family know the bike is Ginger as well. If I ever say Ginger in conversation, they know
They know it's your
exactly what I'm
bike.
talking about my bike. Yeah, so I guess eating people is old hap.
Yeah.
for the
Old habits
monster.
die hard and all that.
And we get a little bit of bump on how they escaped. So we get a black and white shot. Oh, don't we get a little bit of black and white shots of various doctors? We get the 4th Doctor. We get a weird puppet person version of Heart Noise, kind of like just bopping
kind of
along.
blub, blub, blub.
I'm not sure what that was.
I don't know.
And then we get our 12th Doctor.
Yeah, it doesn't Missy say something like, I can't remember which one of these, which one this story happened to, and they're all the same to me, so let's just pretend it's this one.
And the Doctor's having to fight off these invisible
androids.
assassin androids.
Yeah.
And they all kind of fire at him all at once, and he's able to evade it by channeling the energy of the blast into a teleporter.
That is from the same tech as their blasters.
Yeah.
So it uses the same energy the blasters use.
You know when you write yourself into a corner? This is something I'm trying so hard not to do with Reegan. And so far, I haven't actually found it all that tricky to not
To
write
not
myself
do.
into a corner. So I don't know how they do it, but
Deadlines and
is this just like, you can go back and delete stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
to be like, oh wait, I just wrote Clara died. How do I
change
how do I
this?
change this?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they deduced that's the same way. Not only did they escape the Daleks on this occasion, but Missy was able to survive her quote unquote death.
With
Now, I don't want to talk too much about this because I know that for us both, that Lethbridge Stewart has one hell of an emotional weight as a character. But I don't know, this feels like it kind of cheapens what happens there a bit, the fact that Missy survived. I mean, obviously we know that we need her to survive.
We need her to
'cause
survive,
not only
but-
for the story, but we need more Missy.
yeah.
We want that.
But also, it doesn't track because she didn't see it coming.
No.
He was behind her, right, when he shot her.
Or off to one side. She definitely wasn't looking
She definitely
at
wasn't
him.
looking at him.
Yeah.
Nor did she touch the device.
No, she just got
So-
full on. Unless she had that as like a kind of fail safe.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. But
Because I think in both of the scenes like that we've just seen,
Yeah.
so when Missy got exterminated, she put her hands up above her head so she could like hold on to the device.
yeah,
And in the scene we're just seeing with the Doctor and the androids, he puts his hands above his head as
Yeah.
well. So they're making this a very obvious thing that they're doing. She did not do that in the graveyard.
no,
So, yep.
whatever.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
As she said in the first one, back from the death. Who cares? Moving
Yeah.
on.
But again, Clara's fine with it.
Yeah. Zero.
Zero upset about
Yeah.
the whole fact that she thought maybe she had some justice for
Some
Danny at that
closure,
point.
yeah. Nah.
She's fine. I mean, she is hanging upside down, so maybe she's not quite all there at the moment because the blood's rushing to her head.
True.
That's all I'm saying.
That's our workaround. On the subject, actually, I don't want to hover on him too much because again, it's a bit of an emotionally weighted subject. But again, Ninth Doctor stuff. There's a beautiful audiobook with him and Lethbridge Stewart.
Is there?
Obviously, it's not the same
actor.
Same actor. It's him in a younger incarnation. But him and the Cybermen. Very cool story.
Oh, cool.
Very good.
Like it.
I'm going to nickname this episode the Poo Daleks, but we'll get to the reason why that is. So, oh yeah, but there's like a wrap up to what Missy's saying is, so the Doctor teleports away and Clara's like, oh, that's how he got away. And it's like, no, because he teleported into a hive of vampire monkeys.
Vampire monkeys. Because he's the Doctor and he's not that lucky.
I'm sure Big Finish have clarified what happened
They've
there.
got to
as
have,
they often
surely.
do, either making up stories or finding a seconds that they can squeeze a 40-minute story into. Do we get the now? I love what the Doctor does in terms of a reveal in the next couple of minutes. But Davros is being unusually cryptic about his calls for help.
Yes.
He's not explaining why he needs help, and obviously
All he
the
needs
Daleks
to do.
are seeing on their sensors that Davros is approaching. Davros is giving them the information the Doctor's escaping.
Yeah. What he fails to mention.
Is that he on floor?
He on the floor. He fails to mention that the Doctor has ripped him from his chair.
Horrific. So glad we don't have to see that, because that must have been
Literally.
horrible to.
Yeah,
Oh my
well, he
God.
literally would have had to like unplug him in various places because it's revealed he doesn't have a lower body.
No.
He's just all tubes and
Yeah.
stuff.
I wish they hadn't done this because it just doesn't look like what it should look like. But the spinal column of Davros
Yeah.
like flinches.
Yeah.
Nah, don't like
it's
that.
like one of those singing fish on
Oh,
the wall.
yeah.
Where it's like, "Bah, bah." It's rubbish.
Yeah, so Davros is on the floor. Some of the Daleks do go in and see him down there. I think he calls for his Snaky Boy.
Does he
and
call Snaky Boy?
I think Snaky Boy does come in. And,
Yeah. And then the Daleks come in. They're like, oh, shit, boss.
Yeah. And the door opens and the Doctor is in the chair.
In the
and
chair.
Best one-liner. All right, admit it. You've
We've all had this exact nightmare. It's brilliant.
Absolutely great. And he follows it up with anyone for Dodgems.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah.
This is where he has the Dalek gun.
This is where he has the Dalek gun.
Because he's saying, like, if Clara is dead,
I
you
dare
better
you
be
tell me.
very
Yeah.
careful how you tell me that.
Yep.
And
Has he got that yet?
oh, I think it cut because I think we got a bit of Davros, and then it cuts to him again. And he's
Yeah.
got the cup of tea.
Because they all start exterminate.
Oh yeah, and then it white flashes.
White
I think
flashes.
it's to a bit of Clara. It's probably to the bit of where Clara and Missy are like standing at that hole, and she's like, "How
Are they, or are they looking at the city at this point?
They might
and
be looking
going-
at the city.
What are we supposed to do? That's a whole city full of Daleks. We have a pointy stick.
Yeah,
And then Clara wants the pointy stick, and Missy says, "No, get your own."
okay, and then it cuts to.
I think-
Yeah,
And then I
you're
think it
probably
cuts
right.
back to
to tea.
tea.
It's a shame he's not drinking it the way he drunk it 3 episodes ago, where he
He's
overfilled
not.
the tea and then drunk out the
Drunk out the
saucer.
He's inconsistent with his tea drinking.
Yes.
But another brilliant one-liner. I'm the doctor, just accept it.
Yeah.
Where's the tea
There's
come
a
from?
bit of meta writing there for the entire series
Yeah.
as a whole.
If there's something you can't explain, like where this tea has come from, just accept it. It's
It's very similar to Star Wars' answer whenever something doesn't make sense. It's because the Force
The
wills
Force.
it. Force wills it.
Yeah, the Force wills it. Ta-da.
Must be so. And he talks about Davros's personal force field, which is an interesting thing to kind of look into, because obviously Davros would, especially with his treatment in Journey's End,
Yeah.
where he was essentially put into the basement, and as the 10th Doctor said, you know, puppet, court jester, you're nothing to the
Yeah,
Daleks.
yeah.
You're just kind of here.
You're just there now.
So he'd want to protect himself against however many power hungry, as the Doctor says, mini tanks. It's
Yeah.
horrific
Yeah.
situation to find yourself in.
And how did he manage to do that in his little chair?
Well, I guess the personal force field is exactly that.
Yeah, yeah.
And he also talks about the personal force field only working one way, because that's why he's got the gun and he's
Got the
threatening.
gun. Yep.
But we do,
Which again, handy.
and again, we'll probably do this out of sync.
Oh, almost and definitely.
Because my next note is Dalek sewer. So
Dalek sewer.
before we get there, we get a rather wonderful Missy moment where Clara's like, "How deep is this hole? Maybe we should throw a rock down there." And Missy's like, "Great idea."
Great idea.
Doosh.
Just shoves her in.
20 feet. How high is that?
I don't know. I'm
That
awful
seems
at,
like a lot.
Things like that. I'm not sure. 20 feet. So So my dad's 6 foot.
Okay.
So like,
We
how
could probably-
many-
is-
How high are you? How high are you? How tall are you?
I'm baked, man. To the max. I think I'm 6'1".
All right. So what?
Yeah.
3 and a bit of you?
That seems a lot to be. She was in full, so she's probably not going to land on her feet. She's going on her knees.
I'm glad she's not landing on her feet. Otherwise, those ankles are shattering.
Yeah, but even then, she's more mobile than she probably should be.
She must have broken something.
Yeah, surely.
She does knock out though, doesn't she? Because I think that the Missy goes
Yeah.
like, judging by the sound, it's 20 feet, and judging by the fact you're not talking to me, you must be unconscious.
Yes.
At the very least, she'd have hit her head and knocked herself out.
Yeah.
But she must have broken something.
Surely.
A rib, maybe. I don't know.
Her character. Those are broken a long time ago. So, yeah, the Dalek sewers. What a horrific concept.
Awful.
Which I suppose is a contingency after the asylum was destroyed.
I
This
would
is what-
assume so,
'cause,
yeah.
presumably that's where they initially sent the Daleks that were falling apart
Dead.
and decomposing
Dying,
and
yeah.
stuff. But they are essentially immortal if they don't get killed.
Yeah.
I think they just live forever,
Yeah.
but decompose and rot and stuff.
Yeah.
And Missy says something to the effect of Dalek's word for graveyard, or sorry, for sewer is
the same as
for
graveyard.
graveyard, and she like pokes the wall of her stick, and you can hear
It
the
goes,
Daleks
"Ah!"
screaming.
Yeah.
Man,
Brutal.
absolutely awful.
Absolutely horrible.
If I had an entire planet, I think I would build the sewers farther away.
Then underneath my city.
I know that I don't doubt the Daleks probably can't smell. I doubt a smell is the issue. It's just I don't.
Don't want rotting Daleks underneath.
No, we've already established the Daleks are very aware of how insane a damaged or dying Dalek can be.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
why would
other
they
side
put
of
them
planet.
underneath? Yeah. Literally. Planet core. I
Yeah.
don't know. Just somewhere
away,
else.
not downstairs.
Yeah.
But no, not the foresight of dear old Davros on new Daleks. So I think it is. I can't remember when it's said in the episode, but a thought that's just come to mind that these Daleks are a direct product of Davros because the Daleks are keeping Davros alive. He's got all of these tubes. The Doctor's like examining these tubes and he deduces that the Daleks are feeding Davros to an extent.
So these are the ones with like respect for Davros.
Yes, because that's what he mentions. He says that they've got one formal flaw, and that is respect for their creator.
Yes, and he can't remove it.
Which is insane that he wants to remove it.
Yeah,
like surely that's something that he wants to maintain.
Well, I don't know.
For his own
that's that
longevity.
weird, twisted thing, though, isn't it? He's trying to make this perfect Dalek, and he still can't quite make the perfect Dalek.
No.
He can't quite get rid of it. He's catching himself out, isn't he? And he's just.
I wonder what Davros would have thought about the Paradigm Daleks. What the fuck is this shit?
What's this? Yeah. In that beautiful Julian Bleach voice, it's beautiful.
Oh yes, man! Now this actor,
he's so good. He's got one of the best voices in the world.
He does. It's so kind of. I can sometimes do it where I can add almost like a kind of bubbly creak to my voice.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't want to try now on the spot. I don't know if I could, but
he's in
gravel to his voice that unlike anything I've ever known.
I saw a recording of him do a musical called The Grinning Man.
He's done a musical.
He's done a musical.
Was it terrifying?
It was so scary.
I don't doubt it.
He plays this like court jester clown thing called Barkilphedro, and he's pretty much the narrator of the thing. And he's much more important than you think he is further down the line.
Okay,
but it's such a creepy musical anyway. It's kind of like Les Mis meets kind of Tim Burton-esque kind of creepy. It's really, really good. But yeah, his voice in that is fantastic. And I was like, oh, I recognize who this guy is. And so when he popped up as Davros, I was like...
And
so
you
good.
remember that he's had another role within the Doctor Who universe?
He has.
You remember what it was?
Oh,
Because it's very similar to what the role you're just describing.
it is, but who was it?
I can tell you.
Yes, please.
He was the Nightmare Man.
He was
in
the
Sarah
Nightmare
Jane
Man.
Adventures, and he is. I watched.
God.
I did a watch party almost with Donna over the course of several days of the Sarah Jane Adventures, and she quite accurately said in kind of like a recoiling way that she didn't like the way he moved. It's very spidery, mime-ish kind of movement.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm so sad we didn't get to see more of the night. I think him and Odd Bob the Clown, absolute kings of nightmare fuel.
Oh my God. Would have been amazing.
Yeah.
To see more of him.
But yeah, so
I'm sorry, tangent.
No,
again.
tangent. Where are we?
Where did we get to? Wait. No.
Oh, wait. So no, we.
No, I don't know where we were.
Missy calls Clara's bluff because when Clara wakes up, for whatever reason, Missy's dropped her stick.
Ooh.
And Clara picks it up and points at her and says, and Missy's like, do you really think you could do it? And she said, as soon as you turn your back. So Missy immediately turns her back. And
she doesn't do it.
No. And she goes and grabs it and she says, like, if you're going to use my stick, like, follow through.
Follow through with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Genius.
I think, again, I can't really figure out in which order, so we'll tackle it in this order. But they go further into the sewers, and Missy tricks Clara into looking into, I guess, like a Dalek security sensor or some spiel.
Yeah.
Which activates an alarm, and a Dalek is sent down to explore the sewers.
Yeah. Missy's handcuffed Clara.
Oh
to
yeah,
the wall
yeah.
With some handcuffs that she happens to have.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course she does.
It seems like Snake Boy could have just used those.
Just use those.
Didn't have to shed off part of him. She's already come prepared.
She's got handcuffs, mate.
We don't need to explore why. No shame. We just don't need to hear it.
And Clara still trusts her because she says, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "We need to capture a Dalek. It's okay. It's fine. I'll get you." And then hides. And Clara's just like, "Okay."
Doesn't she talk about the ring? Or a brooch? She's got
the brooch. Yeah, she's got a brooch.
And it's like didn't the Doctor give it to her?
Yeah, it's like a star
for her daughter.
For her daughter.
That was some sizzle.
That was it. Oh. Yeah, she was like, "It's for my daughter." Like, what?
Oh.
What?
Big finish.
Yeah, big finish. But isn't it like some sort of star alloy metal?
Yeah, it's some kind of.
Some.
My favourite comparison of this is again in Doctor Who when Sarah Jane's like, a warp star that I just carry on me and it's a portable nuclear bomb.
Yeah, it's the same vibe, isn't
Yeah.
it?
But in this instance, it is strong enough to pierce the
Armor
the
plating.
Dalekanium of the Daleks.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm sad that we don't get to hear that phrase
The
anymore.
Dalek. Yeah, I love it.
And I thought it was a ridiculous thing that New Who'd come up with, but I think Dalekanium's been
I
all
think
the
it's
way
been
through
around
classic.
a bit, yeah.
So the Daleks cool down and I think advances on Clara, but then doesn't Missy just come out of nowhere?
Puncture it behind it, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going, what's the point, mate?
Stop jabbing at me.
Not going to bother me.
But then she's like, yes, but the poo.
The poo! The poo is coming for you! Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
So I can right past the holes being jabbed in because they're tiny minuscule holes, presumably.
Well, yeah, if you think about the size of a pin.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
But this Dalek is full on poo covered.
Yep.
And yet the next time and explodes.
And explodes.
To the point of where Clara and Missy have to run and go around a corner and you
To get
see
away
the
from the explosion.
shockwave come out. But the next time we see the Dalek, it's almost in perfect nick.
Yeah, pretty much is. I think there's a couple of bent bits, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know we don't want to see a scene where they're scrubbing the poo off of the Dalek. Come on.
I don't even can we
Yes.
justify it by saying
And the Doctor just accepted.
yeah, that, or that the poo was like, oh shit, this thing's already got somebody inside it. We'll leave him alone, and then seeped itself away as
Okay.
easily as it seeped together.
Maybe, because we do see the Dalek embryo. Missy kind of grabs
Kind of
it and
slops it out.
Slops it out. Oh, that's horrible.
I can't believe we both just said slops it out at the same time.
So
I'm assuming maybe the poo goes, oh, I'm not quite solid enough to deal with this. We've reached toilet humour.
We've got a peak. We've done it. So the Doctor's making an announcement because he's calling out to the whole Dalek city, which I think
Ooh,
Clara
yes.
and Missy do hear.
Yes.
And Missy saying like this is because even she's looking quite fearful at the moment because she's saying this is the Doctor without hope
Yeah.
and there's nothing that will stop him now. He'll burn
blow
this
the whole
with us in
city
it.
with this, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I've actually written the Dalek being eaten by poo.
Oh
So I before I did the rewatch, I forgot how the Doctor got like taken back to Davros's wee chamber. It's just Snake Boy, isn't
Snakey
it?
Boy,
Snake Boy
yeah.
just comes out of nowhere and
Somehow
Covers
Davros has
the
been
doc-
kind of like uprighted a little bit. And then
oh yeah,
goes-
he's at a screen, isn't he?
And then goes, yeah, bitch, I've got snakes in your
got-
chair.
There's snakes in the chair.
Snakes in my boot. And then doesn't... Don't they like suffocate the Doctor?
Well,
or
they do
something?
like a
They
full
kind
like
of-
encasing of him, but I don't
And then doesn't he pass out?
something like
I
that.
think he
Or there's just a
passes out.
hard cut to where he's back in
I think he passes out, and then it hard cuts
to the best.
to the best thing in the world.
How privileged he is to be sat upon the only
other chair in
and the
Skara.
Doctor's reaction is fantastic because it's like a cross between absolute loss of hope and I think a bit of laughter.
I think he does laugh.
Despair laughter.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
for fuck's sake.
oh.
Where did you even get this?
Yeah, literally.
So
And his confession dial and glasses have been confiscated and put happily on a table.
yes, and we do get a bit of because you think that the Doctor's angry about Davros touching the confession dial, but he goes over and takes the glasses and like, you better not scratch.
You better not scratch these bad boys.
And again, another bit of quite, I suppose, if you think about it, quite sinister dialogue from the Doctor, where Davros is saying once again playing the fool, and the Doctor's saying like, so at this point you should be nervous.
You should be nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know who plugged Davros back in.
So it was probably
Was it
Snake.
Snake
It was probably Snake Boy because the Daleks don't have the dexterity for that. They're not just shoving him around the ground.
And
you know when you
again-
play one of those weird sandbox games and you're having to get a brick to another brick and you're using the first brick to bounce the second brick along. It was probably like that.
But clearly, Snake Boy and Davros have a little bit of an intimate relationship. Then, if he's allowing him to like plug him back
Well, I
in,
suppose he must be like
Again.
his medi-aid to a certain extent.
literally his doctor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
It's weird.
So I can't remember if this was in the first episode or not, but we didn't really talk about this. As much as these tubes are for the Daleks maintaining Davros's life, Davros gives the Doctor an opportunity where he said if you were to plug yourself in, because I don't know if they're psychic or whatever, but there's a certain amount of intention you can put into it where it's like you could destroy the
He could
Daleks.
destroy the Daleks. Yeah.
And he's like, no.
Oh, I'm not doing another genocide. Thank you very much.
No.
Yeah.
And so we alluded, or at least I alluded to this when we started to talk about the build up to these episodes and the reveal of Davros and stuff, that I think much like Clara, there was a moment here which was hit on the nail, but then missed entirely.
Oh.
And I don't know if you would necessarily agree with me.
Go for it.
So, Davros talks more about being sick. There is quite a lovely moment where he says something to the effect of, one thing I've deduced about you is that you're not in fact a good doctor.
Good doctor, and they both laugh, and
Yeah.
it's actually like almost genuine.
Yeah, and there's a
I was like,
very
okay.
I've seen it in a lot of other films, but that beautiful moment where someone's so sick they laugh, but then they cough and wheeze and stuff.
Yeah, man. If it wasn't Davros, it'd be heartbreaking.
Well, it still is.
It still is heartbreaking, but I'm also like, oh, but you're so mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what bit?
So Davros talks about wanting to look upon him, to quote Vader, with his own eyes.
Yeah.
And you see his little light go out
Ding, ding.
and his real eyes
Yeah.
peek away. And we do get, because again, it's an interesting thing to explore. And I bet there's other podcasts out there that have the time to explore this in its full. But, you know, the most villains don't believe they're the villains.
Yeah.
So Davros, but in this moment, he still wants kind of confirmation that was he right?
Yeah.
Am I a good man? Which I
Yeah.
suppose we hear the Doctor ask Clara at the beginning of season 8.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Doctor knows how to answer.
I don't
him.
know if he does answer it.
No, I don't think he. No, I think he says you really are dying.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
something to
what it
that
looks
effect.
to,
He doesn't
yeah.
really give him an answer.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Davros talks about wanting to see the sunrise.
Yeah.
Oh man!
I'm like, God damn it, man.
Now this, I don't know how they would have done it, because I suppose they could have still had a Dalek antagonist, because you still got an entire city worth of Daleks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this should have been Davros's end,
I think so too.
and it should have ended this way.
Yeah, I like it. It's that awful, awful thing of hope.
Because the way they
And the
could have,
hopeful fact that it could have been different.
the way they could have written it would have been Davros seeing this incarnation of the Doctor would have reminded him when the Doctor saved his life as a child.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
perhaps
he hasn't
would have-
yet, though, has he? The Doctor hasn't done that yet.
What the?
The saving.
We know that Davros is fine because he's in a chair and
He's in the chair.
he's in Doctor Who, Pete.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it hasn't happened for the Doctor yet. He hasn't saved him yet.
No, but what I mean is that this might have skewed Davros's
Yeah.
drive, and he might have had a moment of reflection.
Yeah.
That then would have
gone,
provoked
"Oh,
him
wait,
to
shit."
be like, not necessarily gone back on what, because he didn't say, Doctor, I've done wrong. This wasn't like a Dalek Khan moment where he's like, I've seen the Daleks and I want no more of it.
Yeah, yeah.
He was like, no, I genuinely accept what I've done, but I just like to know, was I right in what I was doing?
Yeah. Would you have done this for your people?
Yeah.
Kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah, and he also gets, because I think this is part of the emotion.
Oh,
we
shit.
get the
yeah.
Doctor telling Davros about Gallifrey.
Yeah, because the Dalek Davros was like, yeah, you need a people to
Yeah,
fight for.
an allegiance.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You need something to belong to. And the Doctor, I do. I saved Gallifrey, but it's safe from both of us. We don't know where it is. We can't get to it.
And doesn't Davros ask for him to like maintain it? You keep it safe.
Yeah, he said, okay, brilliant. He literally genuinely congratulates the geezer. And it's like, keep it safe, man.
Yeah.
Keep them safe. Damn it, man.
Should have ended with
It
this.
should have done.
I wouldn't have
'Cause it
minded
was
the
so
Supreme Dalek
beautifully
or
acted.
Dalek 5 being the antagonist of this episode, but
But then, like,
not to be.
Doctor Who's never going to give up on Davros, is it? Do you know what I mean? They can be same with the Master. They can be killed
Yeah.
as many times as you want. There's always going to be a way of bringing them back.
But the thing is that Davros has had such a long run where you could have other stories with Davros in an earlier incarnation and still have it work. But almost like River Song, and this is what has always made me very apprehensive about Big Finish doing stuff for River Song.
Yeah.
Where I think they are looking at doing a follow-on from her story from the library, which I don't know if I like.
No,
Because I love stuff within it, like between that.
Yeah.
But that should have been the end.
Yeah, I agree.
There doesn't need to be any more,
Yeah,
any more stuff. But
I'd have loved it if he literally had just died while looking into the sunset. Doctor was sad
yeah,
because he's conflictedly weird, but
yeah.
yeah.
But no, because unfortunately sometimes evil is just evil. Because Davros rocks up to the window and is like, I can't open my eyes no more. And
And
Doctor's
the
like,
Doctor
don't worry.
is like, don't worry, bro, I've got you.
Doesn't he throw out something like, this will either shorten my life or I'll just be really short?
I'll be really short later on. Yeah. I'll miss an arm or a leg, or I'll
Yeah.
just be really short.
Yeah.
And he's going to give him a tiny little bit of his regeneration juice.
Yeah. And he goes up to the big old wires
And there's that horrible little bit where he's like left Davros sitting at the window and he runs off to the wires and Davros starts fucking chuckling.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as he started doing that, I was like, no.
Yeah, unfortunately, this was part of his plan all along.
Snake Boy is hanging in the wires.
Yeah, and
As soon as the Doctor touches it, Snake Boy grabs again.
yeah, and Davros's plan is to not only regenerate himself, but to give the Daleks a lease of
A nice lease of
regeneration
boosty
energy, whatever that might look like. Clearly not enough to deflect what comes later, but whatever. So Davros kind of unslumps and goes back to his...
Shuts his eyes and opens up his light again. Oh, you go.
No. Go on. I didn't have much to say. I was just like...
Just something silly.
No.
Is he just holding his eyes shut the whole time?
I don't know because I don't know the ins and outs of what kind of... I know he was in like an explosion, wasn't he? Or
Yeah.
whatever. That was the initial and main thing that caused him to be what he looks like
He
now.
is, yeah.
So I don't know whether perhaps he could re-divert the energy from that to
Opening
open
his
his
eyes to
eyes.
open the eye
But I
stalk,
dare
yeah.
say that the eye stalk has far more Dalek advantages, you might say. You might be able to see through walls or some shit. But
Yeah,
obviously in
100%.
that moment, as false as it was, for the sake of the emotion, seeing one with their own eyes.
Yeah.
I suppose kind of the same as Vader. Like Vader could
I
quite
suppose,
clearly
yeah.
see Luke, but he wanted to see him with his own
Their own
eyes.
little peepers. Yeah.
Yeah, so you see all the... Because Missy is back... Missy's back in the control room.
We've missed a good old chunk of stuff happening in the poo.
Well, we haven't got to the poo yet, I don't think.
No, but we've missed where Clara is.
Yes, well, fuck, we have. Let's go back to the poo. So,
Let's go back to the poo.
So we're in the
We're
poo.
back to the exploded, non-exploded Dalek.
Yeah, Dalek's fine.
Yeah.
Dalek's tippy toppers. And
It's open
yes.
because we've chucked out Sloppy Boy.
And Missy just does a very kind of sinister get in.
Yeah.
And Clara does?
Clara does.
Why there was not more? Why is she just going along with everything?
Missy's like, we need a Dalek to sneak in so we can find the Doctor.
Yeah, so why isn't she like you getting it?
Why isn't she like you getting it?
I do like the tie-in, obviously, to the first time that we saw at least a version of Clara. Very similar to that. And I do love everything that comes from learning how the Daleks move, how they fire, what words are changed. Because obviously we get a bit of Missy having a bit of fun where she's like, tell me "You love me," to which is just followed by "exterminate."
Exterminate.
And
Yeah.
apparently that's how the Daleks reload. Them screaming that is just changing.
And then
another
that
shot.
they harness their emotion rather than delete it, like the Cybermen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a very hyped up, angry little Dalek boy inside.
Yeah. Man, these walls have some ricochet.
It'd be bouncing
Yeah. Why? I don't know.
because it's poo. I don't know.
That cannot be Never Ever Eat Pears merch. It's just a shirt with a poo. And it bounces because it's poo. No, I've said it now. It's real.
It's real.
So, oh man. So,
But yeah,
yeah. So she's in the Dalek.
Clara has fake imprisoned Missy.
Yes.
And brought her back up.
And they get cornered by another Dalek in the corridor, and
Says, "Why haven't you exterminated this
Clara's can't come up with an explanation. So Missy's like, "I'm a prisoner
prisoner of
great
high
interest.
value?" Blah blah blah.
Count the hearts."
Yeah. Then doesn't she say, "The bitch is back"? I think she says the bitch is back.
I thought that was in the end of season 8 that she says that, or is that in that?
I think she says it here.
Oh, okay, it's a great line. Whenever
Either
it's
way-
used. It's fucking great.
I thought bitch was a bad word, and yet they're
seems
dropping it
to change
in
a lot in
a
terms
kids
of when.
episode.
Yeah, but so
I know it's not a kids show, but
no,
you know what I mean.
no,
It's-
and especially this era, it's very much more
It's
dark
much
than
darker.
say Matt Smith's era. But there are weird times that weird curses are thrown around.
Yeah.
Like, I still can't get over. It's weird. There's one completely different form of media, but one I really can't get over in Pirates in the Caribbean.
yeah,
The first one when they've all been captured from the I should know the name of the ship. The supposedly fastest one in the Caribbean that isn't the Black Pearl,
not the Endeavour.
the Interceptor.
Interceptor.
And they're about to blow it up. And oh no, sorry, they've gone to the island, and Wills have made the deal about setting Elizabeth free and whatnot. But then he's like, just throw him over the edge. And Will's line is, "Barbosa, you lying bastard."
Oh yeah,
And I don't know why, but
it doesn't sit right.
it doesn't
does
sit
it
right.
Really doesn't sit.
I know it's quite a dark film.
Yeah, but it's still
It feels weird.
yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, but I suppose films do that when they have like an ability to use a curse.
Yeah. They're like, quick, use it.
Yeah. So Missy and Clara are back in the control room.
With Supreme Boy.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and Missy goes over to Supreme Boy and says, "You're my favorite."
Yeah, you're my
Don't tell the
favorite.
others.
Don't tell anyone.
And I can't remember what she does so that they don't exterminate her, but I think it's just a load of dialogue that makes them
think
not
so.
do it. But then I don't know if they start to chant it, because there's a bit where they start to change.
Is it that she knows where? Oh, doesn't she say she knows where Clara is, and that is what the doctor wants, and that will keep you safe? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. But then all the Daleks power down,
All the Daleks power down.
and Missy's like, "Sorry, was I
Was I boring?
Was I boring you?" And then we get the
Glowy.
the
Glowy,
Time Lord
sheeny
energy.
glowy. And,
And
she's like,
Missy's immediately onto like, "What the fuck? No, he's
She's
not."
scared. Yeah.
Um,
and then doesn't she peg it out of the room?
She pegs it out of the room
And Clara's
because she
like-
goes to go and get something that we see the Doctor use. Well, we've already seen him technically have.
Yes.
Because I don't know where she gets it from.
Who knows?
Maybe this is just a Dalek now without a
gun.
Without a gun,
Yeah.
she just ripped it off. Apparently, these Daleks and Davros are more easy to disassemble than Lego. You can just
Yeah, you just pop it off. Yeah.
um,
And doesn't Clara Bot just kind of? Does
she's
she
just
try and keep
screaming
up,
and
or
rolling.
does she just roll around?
She just rolls around and fires, I think, a couple of times.
Oh, fair.
Yeah. And as the Doctor's being drained of his regeneration energy, doesn't that get stopped by Missy firing at the wires?
Yeah, doesn't she kill Snake Boy? Does she kill him?
I don't know if you see him die.
Or does she just zap those little snakes?
I think she just zaps those snakes and
Yeah.
the wires and stuff. There's a nice slow motion shot as he tumbles to the ground.
Yeah, and he's all
and
like,
stuff.
all panting and
Yeah.
out of breath.
Why is Davros not doing anything? When he comes around to consciousness again, he's there, Missy's there, and he's just in the corner.
Yeah,
just
he's just
chilling.
like-
He's supposedly been
So-
rejuvenated. I know he doesn't have like an auto turret or something,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at least do something.
Do something, literally.
Um,
But he just doesn't.
no. And then we start to feel the ground do a rocking.
Yeah, we do.
And
And Davros is like, what's going on? What's going on?
yeah, because he's like, I know I built my city above the sewers, but I definitely didn't build it upon a tectonic plate.
Exactly.
What's going on? And I can't remember whether Missy reveals it to Davros, but
They say sewers moron.
oh yeah. And Missy gets her wish. She gives Davros a good old jab.
good
in the
old
eye.
jab
I think
in
she
the eye.
first of all says it's such an honour because they've
She
never met.
goes to shake his hand. And
Yeah,
then is
and
like,
he reaches out.
yeah,
He's going for a full-on
He's
handshake.
like, all right, thanks. And the doctor's grabbed his dial, hasn't he?
Yes.
And run away.
And also
Wanting to
the
find
gun as
Clara.
well.
Grab the gun, grab the dial.
And we meet with the Dalek in the corridor. Now,
This bit.
it's so good.
It's great.
Obviously, Missy being
Missy is like,
Missy
oh,
is like, that's the Dalek.
that's the one that killed Clara.
And then she really bakes it up. It's like she tried to run.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to be. She got gunned down. I'm so glad you didn't get to see it. She was screaming in the end. And things like that. Oh, man.
It's brutal.
And the
Doctor, unlike Clara, decides not to trust Missy.
but he is still angry. He's full on got the gun raised.
He is furious.
But because
Man
once
does
again,
a good furious face.
yes, he does. The eyebrows help.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And yeah, because we haven't yet got to one of his most impressive speeches. It's the Xyloran, the Zygon.
Oh, the war speech.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, we'll get there.
It's one of the best Doctor speeches in the world.
But again, he's like furious face and the
Furious anger and sadness.
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing this to me?
How you act.
How you act like this?
So good. And once again, Clara's words are being changed as she's saying them.
She's saying, I'm
I'm
Clara,
Clara.
and all
Which
coming
I
out,
suppose
am
we had a
Dalek.
repeat of that from the Matt Smith stuff.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
She did the same thing.
She wanted to say the same thing, but it wasn't coming out.
But then it's followed up with the Dalek pleading for mercy.
Show me mercy.
Showing mercy and
I
pleading
show
for it.
mercy,
Yeah.
yeah. And the Doctor's like, what?
I initially had an issue with this in terms of continuity, but then I realized that this was a different part or different sect of Daleks where these were directly from Davros. Because I remember we have heard a Dalek say mercy before. It was to River. It was the Stone Dalek in the season finale.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether that was just a bit of bump to show how cool River is.
Maybe.
So she managed to get a Dalek to plead for mercy.
But then, I know, when Nine met Dalek and he's electrocuting it, he's saying, have pity. The Daleks ask him for pity. And Eccleston goes, why should I? You never did.
True.
So-
But this is also a Dalek at like the end of the ropes and
Yeah.
stuff.
So it has
It's
been
possible.
speckled around possibility
Yeah.
everywhere, but
Um,
majority of the time they do fucking not.
No. And I suppose for plot, this would have to be an anchor point for the Doctor to be like, wait a minute, something's amiss here.
Yeah.
And he tells in his mind, the creature inside to open up the casing.
Yeah, and
He just says you just have to think it.
because
Now-
she's like, I don't know how.
Despite the fact that she's been shown that every single one of the Daleks' movements and things
It's controlled by
is
thought. Yep.
Just do that.
I can't do it. But at this point, she's crying, isn't she? So maybe she
Yeah.
has just gone into full on like
Panic and
hysteria,
shock,
panic. Yeah.
Which is fair.
Because the whole world's shaking around her. Her best friend is pointing a gun at her.
That must be a horrific setting to be in as well, because especially for me, I don't know about how you do in enclosed spaces, but for me, I hate enclosed spaces, and to be vulnerable and panicky in that situation in an enclosed.
Yeah, I'm all right. I don't mind small spaces if I know I can get out of them.
Yeah.
But
Which
if
I suppose
there's-
Clara in that situation, she
Doesn't. Yeah.
couldn't.
If there's even the slightest possibility, like I will never in my entire life go caving.
Oh no, but
Because-
there's some horrific stories of that
Yeah.
shit.
Or go into a little tunnel at a beach or something because if
No.
the fucking tide comes up and I can't get out, absolutely not. But I'll happily. Sounds really weird. I'll happily like sit in a chest or something.
No, but that's because you know there's a way out.
There's a way out of that. Yeah.
And you've put yourself there under your own accord. You're in control of that situation.
When I was a kid, I had this big blue, like, I can't remember what they're called, but a big blue chest, and I'd just curl up in there and read a book.
No, it sounds cool. It's really nice.
I had
It's
a
like an
cushion
immersion
in there.
tank. It's-
I had a blanket in there, and
Oh.
I'd just sit there and read my book with my little torch and my Doctor Who stickers all around on the
That's
lid.
cool.
I've still got it somewhere.
Oh, nice.
I cannot fit in it anymore. I probably could, but I don't think I'd be able to move.
Oh. But
But yeah,
yeah, I mean, I experienced something similar to what you're describing on the reverse of that. So, for I guess for the audience, just for a little bit of context, I do a lot of like beach cleans and stuff, and there was one that I was doing that was like a marathon beach clean over 17 miles along the British coast, and I was walking the majority of it along the beach the parts that I could get to, and there was a point where I'd been walking for ages and there were no stairs. And I just thought, oh man, there are no, and it was also one of the hottest days of the year as well.
mate.
Yeah, I'd chosen a rubbish time to go and do that. I was fine for drink and stuff. I wasn't dehydrated or anything, but I was tired. And the tide was coming in, and these were like the white cliff parts. There was no way
You're
for
not
me
getting
to go.
out, yeah.
I did get to a point where the water was like right next to my feet, but I was fortunate enough to find some stairs that did come down, but I had to kind of like hoist myself up onto the railing and spin yeet myself around it because I
God.
just couldn't. It was too deep to go in properly. Yeah.
That's creepy, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, on the subject of like caves and stuff, the people, well, for one, the people that do cave exploring, which I still find it weird, the terminology used for that, spelunking.
Spelunking.
It's an odd phrase. But the people who do it underwater are a completely different grade of insanely brave
Absolutely
individuals.
mental. Yeah,
I don't know how,
I don't get it.
because there's so much working against you.
Well, yeah, and especially because a lot of them do it like free diving, don't they? They just do it with holding their breath rather than having the tanks. I'm just like,
Yeah, that's
no.
it's great that you clearly have done everything you want to do in your life.
yeah. If you're happy that your life ends now, fine, go
Yeah,
for it.
yeah, but the beachgoers who will find your washed up body probably aren't.
I just couldn't do
Yeah.
it. I couldn't do it.
Absolutely horrific. But fortunately for Clara,
It opens.
It opens, and man, that shot of her with tears in her eyes and
With her little doobies in her temples. Yeah.
oh,
It's a good one.
it's a good, but
It's a good one.
heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking.
And the doctor's only line in that is "Missy, run."
Missy run. She's literally gone from being mad angry at the Daleks
Yeah.
for killing Clara to mad angry at her.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, I did it for you though. I did it to show you that, this is your friend. I'm giving you your friend back. I'm being nice to you.
Yeah.
No, fuck off.
No.
I think he says it twice, doesn't he? He's
Yeah,
like,
he does, because she
"Just
sticks
run."
around and is just Missy, just run.
Just got
Yeah, we've got more kind of explosions happening.
More
and
explosions, more poo coming
rumbling.
out.
Yeah, because the poo's coming.
Oh yeah, we haven't touched that yet, have
No.
we? Yeah.
Don't touch the poo.
Because we
Yeah, the cities are
realised that they didn't just
revolting
rejuvenate.
in the most literal sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Didn't just rejuvenate tanky Daleks.
No,
it
it
rejuvenated poo Daleks.
yeah,
Who
and they've got a whole
are
new.
pissed.
Yes, they are. I don't know what, because the Daleks in the tanks weren't hurt. So what did the regeneration energy do for them? Was it just like an energy drink? Did it just
Maybe it was just a bit of a boost. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were buzzing. They were like, yeah, let's go kill the people.
Sugar rush?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it was ever.
I don't know whether if they got killed, then they would have regenerated or been able to like grow back parts. Unfortunately, it's never explored
It's
because
never
the end of the
explored, is
episode
it?
needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like. Yeah. I don't know. Because then aren't we left with Davros going, like shaking his fist, going, rah, and then.
I'll get you
I'll
next
get you
time.
next time, my pretties.
Yeah, I don't think we get a proper death.
No, I don't
as
think
we
we
often
do.
don't.
But we end up back in control room.
Do we? We end up in a room
think,
with
aren't we
Missy, if
back
that's
in-
what we're talking about. Because she's not there with Davros. She's there with some Daleks. I think.
Oh, have we split up? Because Missy ends up in a room with the Daleks.
Yeah.
Doctor and Clara end up in a room with particles of something everywhere.
Yes, sorry, yes, they do, because
Yeah.
there has to be a way for them to get out. Yes, so
Missy runs away.
but he doesn't because he's Missy.
Missy
sorry.
runs away.
Well, she proposes to the Daleks that she's got something for them, or
Yeah.
there's something that she has that
they want.
they want, but isn't explored in this episode.
Yeah, don't kill
I
me,
don't
I'll
know
give you some-
if we ever get an explanation to what that is.
I don't think. I'm just trying to think when we next see her.
It's not in Bill's run, is it? Might be.
We can't not see her for this entire series.
Don't know. I don't even know what is because the season finale is Hellbent and Heaven Sent, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's not
Which
in
does
that.
not have a Missy.
No.
Spoilers. I think it might be Bill's series.
Blimey. And what an appearance that is, but in a year or so we'll get that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's fair. So, so Doctor and Clara are back in the control room, and they use the particles to. Because isn't this the same?
It's the Hads.
It's the HADS circuit
Yeah.
that we had in Wild Blue Yonder.
And
Has it been used in New Who before?
yeah, wasn't it for Oh man, with the shrinking TARDIS.
Oh no, that was the
Was that not the hostile actions?
no. I think that was something else.
Siege mode.
That was Siege that was Siege mode.
I don't think we have had the Hads then.
Possibly not, unless it's just been mentioned.
It's probably been mentioned.
Yeah.
Like reversing the polarity. It's just chucked around like nobody's business. But yeah, and then he's like, I'll need the sonic screwdriver to put it back together. And she's like, yeah, where is your sonic screwdriver?
Oh yeah. Now, again, when I first watched this, I did not like the sonic specs. I thought they were shit.
I loved them. I thought it was so bad. It was great.
Did we ever get to see a POV from these? Surely we do.
We
at
do
some point.
in Veritas and
Oh, okay.
again Bill episodes.
Yeah, they're.
I love them. You leave them alone. They are useless,
Yes.
but I love them.
I think I'd feel less apprehensive about them if he had a Sonic as well.
Yes.
If he was using them in dual tangent with each other.
When do we next get Sonic back? Is it the Christmas?
Is it his new Sonic?
I think it's Christmas, yeah.
Ooh.
With the lovely, lovely blue design. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's Christmas.
It is a nice design.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that reminds me. Oh, I don't know if we can do that. Well, we'll talk about that off show. Yeah. So,
And yeah,
they re-particleize the TARDIS and are able to fly away in that, but they don't go.
they don't fly away.
They don't
though,
go
do
all
they?
that far.
They just go on a cliff.
Yeah.
Overlooking.
Overlooking,
Why wouldn't you just leave?
because we need a moment.
Yeah, but
of-
orbit.
of observing the
Go into orbit.
observe the poo.
Oh.
I love how you see like a comedic like gun.
It is gun spurting out of the floor, isn't it?
Yeah.
And seeping through the walls. It's like, oh my god.
So they have that moment, and what provokes the Doctor to run off and do the thing he does? He says,
I think he realizes that
Clara says something. I don't know what it is.
I don't know. It goes back to the whole her asking for mercy.
Oh yeah, because he asks how would the Daleks have that in their
Oh god, yeah. He was like,
in
she
their
was like, I'm so
language.
glad you figured out it was me. And he
Because-
was like, because you
Yeah.
told me to mercy, but I don't understand how they can have that language.
and he
Then
realized he
goes,
had to show
"Oh,
a certain little boy mercy in
Yeah,
order
yeah.
to do that. Does he leave Clara behind?
Yes.
Full on runs off
He 100%.
without her with him.
Either he leaves her behind, or he runs straight into the TARDIS and then turns his head around and goes, "Oh shit, sorry, come on,
Clara, in.
in you come."
And we get again back to indescript muddy planet.
Yeah. Where we still think he's just about to shoot little boy.
Yes. And he does still do the I'm doing this for my friend the only way I know how, exterminate.
Yeah.
But he's actually shooting all the little hand
Little hand. Which
crack shot.
Yeah, oh god, yeah, he's on.
Beautiful shot. Thank God. And he goes over and doesn't he just
Takes his little hand.
and walks off into the mist.
Why does he walk off into the mist and not take him back to the TARDIS? Why does he walk him through yet another area of possible hand mines?
Okay.
Because it's a pretty shot.
Well, yeah, it is. Also, for the sake of writing, where unfortunately we have to do this a lot, we have to make up excuses for non-answers and bad writing. But I suppose he's found it in his heart in order to not kill baby Davros. But I don't think he's found it in his heart to take him to the TARDIS.
Yeah.
He's probably just like, I'm going to take you to the nearest village.
Yes.
Probably in dead silence.
Yep.
Just
I don't know who you are. I don't want to know you.
No, just leave you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that apart from Davros having the Sonic all this time,
Yeah.
because he does, I think in episode 1 he
does hand it back. Does he hand it back?
I don't think he hands it back. He just
shows
has
him that
it
he's
to
got it.
show that he's got it. Yeah, apart from that, there's no real kind of. I know there's no way to affect the past because obviously that would then affect the episodes we already know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wish there was something more.
It does feel like it's a wonderful. I love them. I think they're brilliant episodes, but it does feel like it should have had like more ramifications on the past.
Which again, I think, or either that, or the reminder of seeing the 12th Doctor from him having been saved as a kid would have then led Davros down a slightly lighter path, which is how perhaps that should have gone.
Yeah, yeah.
You could have quite easily had the Supreme Dalek be like, "Give us your regeneration energy" or something like that,
or even Snake Boy.
Yeah,
being like, "No, bitch, this is the plan. Stick to the plan."
Yeah,
yeah.
But no, it was.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought they were really good. I thought it was a really strong opening to the series.
And we know we can have previously established villains turn good or have better versions of them. And again, I am going to bring up another Big Finish example of this. Again, another Eccleston story. We get, without any spoilers, just in case you do listen to it at any point, we get an Eccleston story with the Sontarans. But we get some good Sontarans.
Oh, very cool.
And these aren't like Strax. These are just full-on good Sontarans, non-fighters. They're just little potato people. And they're very sweet.
Oh, I bet. Oh,
yeah.
That's cute.
They've got a little village out in the jungle.
Oh, man, that's cute. Little potato people.
Yeah. But yeah, now... I obviously I won't talk about the follow-on episodes, but I've got so much to say about them.
What's next?
It's the underwater like ghost.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Before the flood and something else.
Yeah,
I can't remember the titles, but yeah.
A double bill that had such potential.
Oh my god,
and was so shit.
I liked elements.
Yeah. Like, elements of it are good.
Some elements of it were great. Others were not.
No. But we'll get there.
Like, that creature design for the Fisher King. There are things to say.
If we're slightly on that, I will bring it up when we do the episode. But why bring back one of the most uncompelling creatures / alien races of all time?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm alluding to. The first of the Spooky Boys.
Mouse Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
Why is
he was bad in that. Why bring him back?
Why bring back that? Because he was in God Complex, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pointless. Really weird.
I don't think anyone was sitting there like, yeah.
Oh, yay, Mole Man's back.
David Williams, yes.
Hooray. Really weird.
Mm.
Weird choices. But we'll talk about that.
We will get there when we get
later.
So thank you so much, Pete, once again for giving up your time. It's very kind of you. And
I love it.
Been a wonderful time talking Doctor Who, as we always do. If you have any comments or speculation regarding old Who or new, please do shove them in the comments and we will read them out. We are still only on YouTube and Spotify, so your time listening to this will hopefully enable us to branching
out.
branching our horizons.
Or maybe not, if we can't do words.
Yeah, we can't do words. We'll be in the sewers with the poo dogs. But until the next time, Pete and I are blasting off Scaro and a big old puddle of poo into time and space.
Moisturize me, moisturize me.